AEW star Brody King is a certified metalhead.
There's been like shows where the entire venue breaks out in a fight and, the whole show gets shut down before the headliner goes on.
When he's not kicking ass in the ring, he's kicking ass on stage when he fronts the hardcore band God's Hate.
If you had to choose one, do you think you could pick one?
If we're talking like passion, I couldn't pick one. What supports my life, I would have to definitely pick wrestling.
He's on the show this week talking about some of his craziest matches.
Probably almost any match with me and Darby Allin. He's very, very physical.
And his surprising love for pop music.
You got Lady Gaga tattoo? Oh my God.
It's from the Telephone music video.
Where are you based out of?
Atlanta now.
Atlanta?
I'm from LA, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys will be traveling to Cleveland soon, next couple days?
Tomorrow night. Yeah, I have like a 10:45 flight or something like that, PM.
Hell yeah, man. Come to the land, baby. You're coming in when it's starting to get real fucking cold, so.
Is it cold up there right now?
Not too bad. Honestly, well, I don't know what's going on with global warming or whatever, but like winter in Cleveland's been so bizarre in the last couple of years. Like it hasn't snowed very much usually, as much as it usually does.
Yeah, it's been really warm here in Atlanta too.
Yeah. I was just in Vegas last weekend for that When We Were Young festival, man. It was so like perfect 70-degree weather all weekend.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, hang out with all those dudes at Treyu and shit. It was dope. But yeah, so dude, it was funny because when I first started talking to John about having like some of the wrestlers on in chat, I didn't realize I was going to get to talk to a wrestler who is also a musician as well, sings in a band. So that's a great crossover.
Yeah.
Man, which came first, man? Was it music or was it wrestling? What was your first love?
Wrestling. So since my earliest memories are like watching wrestling with my dad. And then, when I got into like junior high school, when people start telling you that wrestling's not cool anymore, that's when I found like punk and metal music.
All right. So we discovered girls, we started having sex, we stopped watching wrestling. Was that what it was?
Yeah. Well, not sex. That didn't come so much later. No, it's just I was obsessed with like punk metal music like until middle of high school, and then hardcore music kind of like took over my life.
Yeah. What was the first show you went to?
Oh, I mean, I used to go to like punk shows, like the Casualties and like Guttermouth and like a bunch of like shitty little punk shows in the town I grew up in. But like my dad would take me like big metal shows. Like we would go see like Mudvayne or Slipknot, or I'm trying to think, like definitely like Mudvayne, Slipknot. Those were definitely probably the biggest shows that I went to early on, like in junior high. And I remember going to like one of the Ozfests one year and Slipknot was playing. But like, I mean, I got the Slipknot like VHS, like when it came out, when the self-titled record came out, and like that was like seeing that was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Do you still have that?
I do.
Oh, see, what a relic from the past, man. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I held on to more of my VHSs and DVDs and stuff, because, when streaming became a thing, I started being like, what do I need this for? I don't even own a DVD player, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, all these classic things are not like, dude, that movie Dogma. Do you remember that movie Dogma from back in the day with Kevin Smith? You can't get it anywhere. Yeah. Like, it's not on streaming.
Apparently they're re-releasing it.
I did see that. Yeah, he finally got rights to it. But
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you didn't think about, like VHS or DVD or even Blu-ray, that like goes out of print, and you're like, oh shit, I cannot watch this anymore.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, man, I gotta get I gotta go to Goodwill, get a VHS player or DVD player. I gotta get all the old stuff, man. Yeah, especially those concert DVDs and VHSs, because especially if the band didn't get like real huge. Obviously, Slipknot probably has those, reproduced or whatever. But yeah, some of the smaller bands back in the day probably can't get that shit anymore.
Yeah, there was like a lot of like, day in the life on tour or whatever, like DVDs and stuff. And like, they were cool, like, especially when you're a kid. Like, I remember Throwdown had one. Every Time I Die had one. And it was like, it was just like seeing, what they do. And I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I had one that had like, oh man, it had all those guys, like 18 Visions on it, Atreyu, like a lot of the old, initial crop of like the hardcore scene and stuff. And yeah, dude, there was. So those were the bands that kind of made you think like, oh shit, I could actually pull this off. Like I could do this.
Yeah, I don't need money or any connections or anything. You just gotta go do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially Slipknot when they first came out with like their homemade masks and everything. It's like, oh shit, like they're not not bringing anything really crazy. Like, that's awesome, man. Dude, also I gotta say, it's pretty hard to come out to your own theme song in wrestling. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was like a cool like achievement unlock.
Yeah. Did you guys write the song specifically for your entrance, or was it like a retroactive thing?
No, yeah, it was like a retroactive thing. So that came out in 2021, and it was like right as I got signed to AEW. But it was like, when they're like, "Oh, what do you want your entrance music to be?" It's like, I'm gonna pick my band. So that,
obviously,
this is kind of easy. So it's like, if I have like a national plug, I'm just gonna put my stuff on there.
Yeah, keep it all in the house. Absolutely. Yeah, because you started God's Hate around the same time that you got into wrestling, right?
Yeah, God's Hate. We just hit 10 years, so 2014, and then very shortly after, I started wrestling training.
Yeah. What do you think? If you had to choose one, do you think you could pick one, or is it just impossible?
I mean, for the if we're talking like passion, I couldn't pick one. But what supports my life, I would have to definitely pick wrestling. I love God's Hate. It does great for what it is, but it's not gonna do what wrestling does.
Probably less bumps with music though, right? I mean, I know you'd probably take some off the stage, but
yeah. I mean, depending on my younger years, probably more, but now less.
Dude, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm just impressed you're able to balance it all together, like the music career and obviously a very, very prosperous wrestling career. And then you have kids too, right? You have a family?
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, so they're starting to get into music now, and that's fun.
That's awesome.
We just took my son to go see Rancid.
Hell yeah!
They were playing the Green Day concert.
Yeah,
and I'm good friends with the guitar player Lars, and he invited us out and gave us the whole treatment. So Dante's like on stage, like jamming out to Rancid. I'm like, brother, they're not all going to be like this, like you kind of go like shooting for the moon on the first show.
Yeah, I know. We're at the gate. Like, you spoil them. They're gonna be like, "Wait, what?" So, go to their next local show or something. Like, "Wait, can I get side stage?" Like, what side? There's no side of the stage.
What is general admission?
This is a pit. Have they listened to your band? You ever play your stuff?
Yeah, sometimes. They think it's funny. Like, I don't think that they really realize. They're like in that mode where anything that they're familiar with, they think they get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
A funny example is we have a dog named Hank, and in the Aqua Barbie song, which my daughter loves, they say hanky panky, which is obviously sex, but they think it's hilarious because we call Hank hanky panky.
Yeah.
So it's like hearing me on a song. I don't think they realize what I do.
Yeah,
but, they love the fact that I'm doing something that they can listen to. And we just put Dante on Twitch, one of my best friend's bands, Twitching Tongues. Most of the members are also in God's Hate. They just came out with their second edition of Twitch Fits, which is a full Misfits cover record. And on it, they did Mommy Can I Come Out and Kill the Night?
Nice.
And when it breaks into that, Colin, the singer of the band, had Dante sing, or he had him say the mommy, can I go out? And so him hearing that now is whoa, that's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
And, he's 5 and he has his first musical credit.
Yeah. So. What a good band to be a part of too, man.
Yeah.
Doing some covers of Misfits. I was actually just talking to the guys from Atreyu. They were on the podcast last week, and we were talking about how there's not enough popular versions of Misfits covers. Because I mean, obviously Metallica did a lot of them back in the day, but all these celebrities wear Misfits t-shirt. That's the biggest t-shirt brand for celebrities is a Misfits t-shirt. So Olivia Rodrigo or something should start covering a Misfits song. Put that shit out. If you're gonna wear the shirt, you start covering the songs, man.
Yeah, obviously, cool. Like in her way too, or like there's a weird cover from like the Lemonheads that they did Skulls, and it's really cool. Obviously, like AFI did Halloween.
Yeah.
Metallica did Die Die My Darling. Like,
so good.
Yeah, different renditions, especially like in their style. I think that those kind of covers are really cool.
Yeah, because it's such a good juxtaposition too. Because the Misfits was so like happy and upbeat sounding, but then the lyrics were like talking about breaking skulls and killing. But it'd be cool to hear like the reverse of it, like hear those words with some, some pop singers doing it. That'd be good, man. Dude, you have to have seen some crazy mosh pits in your life, and then going to all these like local shows. Is there anything that stands out in your mind? Anything that's like, wow, that was out of pocket?
I mean, there's been a lot over the years. It's funny because it's like, you brought up Atreyu. Like that was one of my like first like hardcore adjacent shows when I was in high school. They came. I grew up in a town called Palmdale, which is like 45 minutes from LA. Small desert town, but like it's far enough away to where like getting to LA when you're a kid is hard, but it's close enough to where like bands would maybe pass through. I got to see like Avenged Sevenfold on like their first record, like to like a 300 cap room. I got to see Trey like on that first record to like a 300 cap room, and like but those were like to us those were like huge bands at the time. And the fact that they were coming to our town was amazing. So it was like those were definitely my entering points into hardcore music. And then so like going from that, and my whole entrance into hardcore was through Hatebreed. And I remember seeing the I Will Be Heard music video. And like that whole music video is just like in an industrial like warehouse, and it's just people pitting and stage diving. It's like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, so it's like that, then being part of like Hatebreed shows and terror shows and like, all these like bands that people consider violent, like that was, I've been doing it for years.
That's everything, man.
I mean, there's been like shows where the entire venue breaks out in a fight, and the whole show gets shut down before the headliner goes on, and like those are some like the fondest memories you have.
Right. It's like, I almost saw this band play last weekend. It was so good.
But there was a riot.
It's either you see your favorite band play or there's a riot. I mean, either way, those are both good stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, speaking of crazy times, I gotta know, on the flip side of this, what do you think is the craziest match you've ever been in? Like, the craziest like thing you've ever been a part of as far as wrestling goes?
Oh man, at this point, I've been in a few crazy ones.
Yeah.
There was a match. Physically, probably almost any match with me and Darby Allin. It was very, very physical.
I assume that had topped the list.
Yeah. I've had some wars with the Briscoe brothers in Ring of Honor. There was like me and PCO had a tag team against the Briscoes, and we had like a crazy hardcore match in Vegas. But yeah, I would say pretty much anything with Darby Allin is like, it's next level, like taking the bump onto the stairs that I did at Wrestle Dream, like falling from the turnbuckle to the steel steps was not fun. But
oh man,
all my years of stage diving and people not catching me built me for that moment.
Really prepped you for it. Yeah. Do you have any crazy injuries from back in the day that is still linger, or are you pretty put together for the most part?
Oh, I have had broken jaw twice, 2 torn ACLs. I had my wrist rebuilt last year. There's a whole laundry list, but yeah, like I can't feel my bottom jaw from here to like here. It's just numb.
Oh wow! Like all the time, or
So like if you break your jaw, like there's a nerve that runs through your jaw, and if you sever that nerve, there's like a likely chance that it's not going to come back.
Oh damn! Yeah, that's wild. So does that affect your singing at all?
No, I just sometimes I'll drool a little bit.
Yeah, that probably just adds to it, man. If you're drilling like up there like an animal. Hell yeah, dude.
This guy's rabid.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite wrestlers? I know we talked about your favorite music growing up. What were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
I was a big Undertaker fan.
Oh yeah.
Like obviously, like I never really liked Hulk Hogan or like like the goody wrestlers. They just didn't do nothing for me. Like Ultimate Warrior was awesome. Macho Man was awesome. But yeah, Undertaker was my guy for a long time, and then like the Ministry of Darkness stuff. And,
oh yeah.
I liked the darker side of all of it.
Yeah, you're all about the heels, huh?
Yeah. Even when they were like doing good things, I'm like, as long as the scary looking guy is doing something cool, like
right.
And it's funny because it's like, visually seeing the Undertaker, it's just like this giant dude with like tattoos and like obviously like listens to fucking metal music probably, but it's like, yeah, that's my guy. And it's like then I became almost like a like exact replica of that. It's like a giant metal dude that covered in tattoos.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Do you ever go to like commercial gyms and work out or anything? You gotta stick out like a crazy sore thumb. You're a big ass dude. Like you just walk in, people are like, holy shit, who's this guy?
Yeah. When the House of Black rolls into the gym, it's always like a record scratch moment. Like people are like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like, is there any machines in the back I can use and wait for everybody? Yeah. Well, speaking of coming in town, you guys are coming into Cleveland on Wednesday. What can we expect? We got on this show.
So this is the Wednesday night Fright Night. We got the return of Swerve Strickland. We got Buddy Matthews versus Adam Cole. That match should be amazing. With all the terror that Jon Moxley is ripping through AEW, I'm sure in his hometown he's not gonna let up any easier. Darby Allin hopefully will be in the building. There's a lot going on at AEW right now, a lot of exciting things. And, I think that any opportunity to go out to a live show, you should take because you never know who's going to show up.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it is kind of like you never know what's going to, that whole thing, you never know what's going to happen in wrestling. And like, yeah, if you're not there, you can miss some huge moment that you can be telling your kids about for years and years. Like I was there in Cleveland. I saw it, at the Wolstein Center. It went down.
And also like, even if like I invited a few friends out to Salt Lake who like they know about wrestling, but they're not like avid wrestling fans. They brought their kids out who were like 10 and they never really had exposure to wrestling. And, they got to sit front row and that was the Briscoe Jericho ladder match. And their kids were like mind blown after that. Like guys were bleeding everywhere. They were jumping off of ladders through tables. It's like, that's how you make a wrestling fan for life. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. My 5-year-old and I we'll watch, AEW on TV, and just even on TV, some of the athleticism is just so unparalleled, just like incredible stuff that you would never expect to see. And like a lot of like, holy shit moments. And like, my kid who's like 5, who is like seen wrestling, but everything is new to him at this point, really. And he's just watch his eyes like light up every time somebody takes a bump or does something crazy.
Yeah. It's such a fun time to be a wrestling fan too. Cause it's like you said, the athleticism, you can have guys like Ricochet and Ospreay and Pac doing the most mind-blowing like body movements I've ever seen. But then you have guys like, me and Malachi Black and Mark Briscoe and Jon Moxley just being the most violent person they can possibly be at the same time. So it's like that juxtaposition and that crossover is amazing, especially when they're in the same match.
Man, it would be great to take like a taping of AEW somehow back into the past in like the 70s or 60s or something and show those guys like this is what it's going to be one day. Like, holy shit, they're doing all that now. Like,
yeah,
man, that rules. All right, well, let's get into this top 5 here. I got 2 for you. So, Brody King, AEW, your top 5 favorite bands of all time.
Oh man, this is an impossible task, man. It's like I always have to break it down into like subgenres. But I would say probably top 5 all time. I got to go with Terror, Hatebreed, Misfits.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put Misfits in there as like an umbrella for like Danzig as well because that would be very high up there. AFI and Man, I'm gonna like this list is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. I hope
I know you're gonna be texting me later on, like, yo, I thought of another one. Can we take the other one out? Like,
let's re-record. I got a new fifth one. Oh man.
I know, man. I hate to do this to you.
It's like pulling teeth. I mean, I'll put this band in there because it was like a very pivotal band in my musical life. I'll put Slipknot as number 5.
There you go, Clay. Yeah. You can't go wrong with Slipknot, man. You can't go wrong.
It's like, and you know, they could just have self-titled, and that would be enough.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I remember my mom taking me to go buy Iowa the day it came out. Like, she took me out of school when like Best Buy opened, and like I got it, got the CD at Best Buy, and like that was like, oh, this is awesome. And I was very fortunate to like be able to see them a few times, like in smaller venues. I saw them at the Soma in San Diego on the Iowa tour, and there's like a 1,500 cap, but it's like, for a band that size, it's insane. You know, they only play like giant festivals now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember my mom took me to get one of my first new metal CDs too. It was Korn, Life is Peachy. And first track on that album is Twist, which is just like a horrible introduction for your mother to Korn. Like, hey, she got a new band, like, and it's just Jonathan Davis scatting for like 39 seconds. It's like, this is what you fucking want to listen to?
There's a really funny story. So me and my cousins that lived in a different state, we kind of came together for the first time when we were like 10 or 11. I'm sure we'd been together since then, but like this is when we like knew things, right? Mm-hmm. We had our own interests, but we all liked aggressive music. And we went to a record store. We've all bought our own thing. And I remember I bought Life is Peachy. Yeah. And one of my cousins bought like Rob Zombie.
The Dragula one.
The Dragula one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking. I can picture the album cover in my head.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I forgot what I think my other cousin bought like a Kid Rock CD or something. But we brought it back to my grandma's house, and I remember my uncle like taking all of our CDs and then like having like a family meeting with like my parents and like everyone else's parents, and it's like reading lyrics out of it.
Oh, like, no.
And my dad was just like, shut the fuck up, Bill, give him back a CD. You're like, yeah. Like, my dad was always a very big proponent of like, you know,
individualism and being
express yourself the way you want to. And like,
good, man.
Both my parents were very much like that.
Good. Yeah, my parents are pretty much like that too. They didn't get it a lot of time, but they're like, all right, I mean, if this is what you like. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I got one more for you. This might be even tougher. Hopefully not, though. If you can name 5 songs you're currently listening to, or just give me a few that's in your playlist right now, maybe your workout playlist, some tracks you're digging right now at the moment.
Workout playlist. This isn't any easier than the top 5. Let's go. Oh man,
sorry. I feel so bad doing this to you.
Okay. Hate Breed Perseverance, Dying Fetus in the Trenches, Blood for Blood, Waiting for the Moment, Twitching Tongues cover of Misfits Saturday Night, which is a deep cut Michael Graves cover, and Chapel Row and Pink Pony Club.
Yes, dude, cannot go wrong with Pink Pony Club, man.
Dude, that's like a constant rotation right now.
Dude, that song, she's so good.
Yeah, she's great.
I also noticed, I feel like every hardcore metal dude I talk to loves Chapel Roan too. I don't know what it is about her music.
I love pop music across the board. Yeah. Like, actually, I would probably say my 5th favorite artist is probably Lady Gaga. Like, I have a Lady Gaga tattoo. And it's like,
you got Lady Gaga tattoo?
Oh yeah.
That rules.
Let's see if I can pull it up on not that leg. It's funny when you forget where all of your stuff is. Yeah. All right.
Oh my God.
So from the telephone music video with the hair curlers that are beer cans.
Jesus, from Terror to fucking Lady Gaga, man.
Yeah, man. I love pop music, and I feel like, if you're a real music fan, like, pop melodies. Like a good hook is undeniable.
Yeah, good hook, good music is good music. A good hook, you have to be able to appreciate it at some level, right? Like it doesn't matter if it's your genre or style or whatever. But it's like, if it's catchy and it's a well-written song, like you can't deny that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Brody, dude, it was so good chatting with you. I appreciate you jumping on with me. Everyone listening and following, please go follow Brody King on all socials. Follow AEW as well. You got any more last-minute plugs before we get out of here?
Life is hard. Be harder.
Hell yeah. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with somebody that doesn't suck. All right. Take it easy now, and bye-bye.